Meeting with a scientist. I am often asked, why don't you use your abilities to extract new knowledge and technologies from the biosphere? In order to take technology, you need to understand the subject, then you will be able to catch at least a grain of knowledge. A little more than you knew, you will take today, tomorrow, another grain, etc. This is a long search for the truth in a few years, perhaps in tens. I take knowledge from the biosphere, but only on my own topic. Are there any people who are closer to solving some scientific mysteries? Of course there is. Can you contact them through the astral plane? I chose the topic of a fuel-free electromagnetic field generator. Many people have approached this topic, but so far, as we can see, no one has implemented the technology. Customized dreams are a very good way, as I thought at first. After a month of torment and almost 40 attempts, I was beginning to doubt it. I was thrown in the wrong place, then I was late for the event. The matter of reality vibrated so much that it wouldn't let me through. This is not surprising, because if such an invention spread around the world, it would change everything. This time, when I was almost there, I realized that I was late again. I sighed and looked at the inventor lying in the hallway. Suddenly I was drawn to another plan. The same corridor, but the inventor was still standing in it. I walked closer to him. "Hello?" I said hello in my head. "Could you spare me a few minutes?" The inventor was surprised and said that it was time for him to leave. "Please," I begged. "I've been coming to see you for a month." The man turned, pursed his lips more tightly, making his mustache droop mournfully, and sighed. "Girl, you will suffer the same fate as me." "Why would you do that?" "Without your generator, it is impossible to close the Earth's high-frequency circuit," I said honestly. He took my hand. "You have such good hands." He rubbed the center of my palm with his thumb and touched the logon with his mind. "I think you can guess. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go." And the man disappeared into thin air. Having nothing to do, I entered the room. There a whole group of people, without hesitation, conducted a search. All the documents were neatly put in boxes. There was a grey aura of unfreedom, as always from people from the relevant services. Others wouldn't take such a job. I had to do something. Why did I come here? Thinking that I needed to see the generator live, I closed my eyes so that I could tune in and get close to it. In the astral plane, all objects have their own halo. It makes it difficult to look, and I could just not notice the generator. I was in a completely different world. This was a parallel world, where the scientist worked as a watchman. He was guarding a 3-story metal structure in the suburbs where strong electromagnetic radiation probably accumulated and rose from the ground. I didn't know for sure, but judging by the stone, which was as black as the one under the pyramids, the Earth's energy must have accumulated there. The skeleton of the building immediately began to collapse for some reason. Maybe the radiation helped, maybe something else. The construction site was abandoned, a guard was put in place to protect the anomalous object, and that was it. The watchman, having lived in this place for several years, made a fuel-free generator and an interesting welding machine for repairing metal structures. They became interested in him when they discovered that there was electricity in the trailer where he lived. When I arrived at the place, almost simultaneously with me came some services interested in technology. I don't know what they drugged the inventor with, but the man was in euphoria. He could see me well, but he didn't answer my questions. His memories were in complete chaos. It was also impossible to view a slender picture of the invention. Trying to bring the man to his senses, I drew a lot of energy from my internal reserves and poured it into the scientist. Then I opened the stream from its star to the center of the Earth. The inventor's gaze became conscious. His eyes caught on me, and through my channel to him, he entered my memories and saw his death in a parallel world. I had a fleeting thought at the edge of my mind that I should have blocked these images, but it was too late. He smiled sadly. "You need to touch the installation," he said. At that moment, a shot was fired. The body fell, and almost in the same position as in the parallel world. The soul of the inventor slowly dissolved, moving to higher levels. Red flashes came from me. Stop. I didn't want to lose control here. I dashed into the trailer. The scientist's calculations were still on the table. The handwriting is awful. The volume is large, and there is no hope of making out anything from what has been written. I ran to the installation at least to see what it looks like. The generator itself was a small box with thick wires running into the black stones. The wires glowed yellow, indicating a high concentration of energy. Won't I get an electric shock? It should not be in the astral body. Reaching out my hand, I touched the installation. I didn't feel the impact itself, just heard a hard click. People were running around me. A woman. A woman. They shouted. Have I become visible to them? I looked down at my hands. The body became heavy and dense. The generator worked like an electromagnetic ghost trap. I would have even laughed at myself, but at the same moment I felt the sights aimed at me with my skin. Remember how in lesson 16 I told you about the tigress and the woman? Well, now I played the role of the woman. What should I do? Mentally, I understood that the physical body has a lower frequency of vibration than our astral body. When I got under the electromagnetic field, I just lowered the vibrations, almost to the physical body. To an outsider, it's like a person emerging from thin air, seemingly dense, but actually not quite. As the vibrations decrease, the energy increases. I could literally feel the power boiling inside me. It had to be dropped somewhere so that I could get energy from outside again, at a high frequency of vibration, and I became invisible. I didn't want to check for bullet marks. Focusing the energy in my hand, I slammed it against the metalwork. The carcass swayed and fell to its side. Wow. I didn't expect it. My body was invisible to the locals again. I went to the installation. Here it is, take it if you can. But what's the use? I don't understand technology at all. You could get into the third world, but they are like circles on water. I find myself in more or less similar worlds. So I'll be late again, and the story will repeat itself. It is time for me to go home. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. All have a good mood and bye.